Well, welcome. We are going to try and work on the low back today and our sugar cravings. How do we manage those cravings when we somehow know it's better not to indulge, and yet there it is, the temptation. And if we look a little bit at the history of yoga, if we go right back, I'm talking a couple of thousand years, your diet and your cravings were a big part of the restraints that you were trying to build into your lifestyle. It was very much a lifestyle that was meant to improve your well-being, your health. In fact, the ancient yogis looked for what was called immortality. They wanted to live forever. And I guess we still, somewhere in the back of our minds, we're still looking for that in different ways. So find your sit bones close to the edge of the chair. So if you're sitting back, walk your sit bones forward. And take a moment to rock from side to side. Feel the weight come into one sit bone and then the other. And then find a balanced position between the two sit bones, nice and even. Try to have your thighs parallel, knees parallel over the feet, and just take a moment to lean forward and look down at your feet and check that they're parallel, facing the same direction as the knees. So, looking at today's class, where we're going to focus on the low back, we can look for some kind of relief through stretching. But in the longer term goal, we want to try and take pressure off the low back. So believe it or not, having your legs parallel, feet hip width distance apart, not too wide, not too close, and the knees pointing in the same direction, and your sit bones equal, left and right, starts to take pressure off the low back. Just those little simple preventative measures. Now, let the hands grab hold of the hips and Rolodex the hips forward and backward. And notice how far you can Rolodex the hips. You can create quite a deep back arch, lifting the tailbone. And you can create quite a deep tucking of the tailbone, drawing the navel in, rolling back, rounding the back. Try and find the neutral mid-ground here between the pelvic forward tilt and the pelvic back tilt. Now press down with the hands and lift up the ribs. And as you lift up the ribs, feel the shoulders lift you up. Let the shoulders come up to the ears and create a little lengthening in the spine here. Now keep the length in the spine. Keep the ribs lifted. Roll the shoulders back. Feel a gentle squeeze in the shoulder blades. Drop the back of the hands on the thighs, palms face up, elbows close to the ribs. And start to let the arms sink downwards. Keep the ribs lifted. Now imagine you have a book on top of your head. Try and balance the book so the book doesn't tilt, so it doesn't slip off your head. I can see someone's taking it literally there. You can always practice with the block, of course. With the block, it's going to be a little more challenging. It's going to look very funny as well. So if there's other people in the vicinity, they might be giggling at you. But balancing something on top of your head is teaching you where the head needs to be in relationship to the shoulders. Now lift the head up as if you're trying to lengthen the back of the neck without tipping the block off. So you're not tilting the head, you're lifting the head straight up. Now feel all of that sensation taking pressure off the low back. Close your eyes and start to notice your breathing. Now, believe it or not, the way you breathe can affect your back. If you hold your spine rigidly, your back is going to tire, it's going to ache. As you exhale, gently squeeze the navel back towards the spine and then relax to inhale. Feel the belly expand as you breathe in. Try that again. Exhale, squeeze empty. Relax to inhale, and notice when you start to pump the belly in that way, squeeze empty, draw the navel in, feel the tailbone move so the spine moves. Relax to inhale, feel the spine arch in that low back. So it feels like the spine is moving between cat and cow as you breathe. Feel that lower spine, that lumbar spine moving with each breath. Squeeze empty, draw the navel in like you're trying to fit into tight pants. Relax to inhale, feel the back arch. If you haven't dropped your block yet, you're doing great. Let each new breath get a little deeper. So can you feel the low back is constantly moving as you breathe? This is what you want to introduce to your awareness. Resist the temptation to hold that low back static all day. Whether it's in forward flexion or back extension, you want to feel this fluidity. You want to feel your spine move. Your spine was designed to move. It was designed to move with the breath. As the breath grows deeper and deeper, as you inhale, belly expands. Keep breathing in, ribs expand. You feel the whole chest cavity get bigger. Exhale, release, squeeze empty. Relax the belly to inhale. Keep breathing in, ribs expand. Collarbones lift and widen. Exhale, release. So you're trying to find this balance between shallow breathing and straining. So you don't want to be straining the breath, but you want a big, deep, slow breath, beginning with the movement of the belly and the diaphragm, moving into the chest. And one of the ways that we forget to use our spine, our body, is rotations. The beautiful thing about rotations is they will affect your nervous system. They try to bring balance into your nervous system. So if you're somewhere in a cold place, when you do twists, it starts to warm you up. If you're in a hot place, it starts to cool you down. So the nervous system starts to move towards balance. So we're going to start with twists today. On the next exhale, take your right hand behind you and bring it behind your back and try to tuck the hand into the waistline of your pants. Grab hold of the waistline of your pants. If you don't have pants on, you can always grab the back of the chair. And notice how that right shoulder starts to stretch, that interior deltoid, and a little stretch across the pectoral muscle of the chest on the right side. The next time you exhale, bring the right shoulder back and feel the right shoulder and the right shoulder blade turn your body. Now keep your chin over the chest. Feel the sit bones even. And if you want to keep the balance of the book on top of the head, literally or otherwise, feel yourself in that twist. Now take the left hand and grab hold of the right leg or right clothing so the left shoulder comes forward, the right shoulder comes back. The chin is still over the chest, so there's no strain in the neck whatsoever. Now hold the thoracic twist, this twist with the shoulders. And then as you exhale, turn the head to the left. And notice when you hold the twist, the neck feels freed up to turn without pain. Keep holding the book on top of the head, so don't drop the chin. Inhale neutral, chin over chest, and then exhale, turn the head to the right shoulder. So explore the range of motion of your neck as you hold the thoracic twist. For 5 more breaths, each time you inhale, bring the chin over the chest, and as you exhale, swivel the head either to the left shoulder or the right shoulder, moving at the speed of your breath. So to take care of the low back, twists are critical to the good health of the back. Moving your shoulder blade like this is going to also help your posture. On the next inhale, gently release the hands and allow the body to slowly unwind itself. You should feel quite a bit of sensation in that right side, that right arm, low back area. Take 2 or 3 breaths to recover and to notice how the body resumes and finishes that pose in stillness. And then take the left hand behind you, come into that half bind. Bring it around to the degree that feels right. So you feel that left shoulder trying to pull you around to the left. Now bring that left shoulder blade back more and feel the right shoulder come forward, left shoulder comes back more. So you feel the twist down, right down to the hips. Right hand grabs hold of left leg. Now find the balance in the sit bones once again. Put the book on top of the head, figuratively or otherwise. Start to explore how your neck is free to pivot the head left to right. And then start to move that head in synchrony with your breath. Maintaining that nice posture. I've got to say, everyone I can see, you look great. That looks excellent. On the next inhale, release the hands. Allow the body to unwind itself. Close the eyes. And notice if there's any impact on your nervous system after a twist. It might even impact your craving for sugar. So maybe that's the secret. When you have that next craving for sugar, go into a couple of deep twists and see what happens. See if it goes anywhere. All right, it's just a theory in progress. We'll see. Get back to me with your theses on that. Thesis. Let's grab the knees now with the hands and start to stir the spine in a big circle. So once again, feel the low back as you do that. And then reverse the circle. And then we're going to work a little bit on the hips. We're going to get ready for a big, deep forward bend later. Take that right knee, open it up out to the right. Create it as close to a 90-degree angle as you can. I know some of you can go further, and I know some of you may be limited in that range of motion. So you're just working in the range of motion that feels right for your hips. Bring that right knee back. Repeat. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Just feeling that right hip moving, opening and closing the thigh. And then for some of you, I want you to add a little resistance. Bring the hand against the leg and push against the leg opening and closing. So you're strengthening those muscles. The hip's still working, but you're getting a little core strengthening here. Let's try the other side. Firstly, try and get that 90-degree or as close as you can where the hips feel comfortable. Open and close with the breath. Inhale as you open, exhale as you close. And you can add resistance at any time, working on the strength of the core of the body. Now remember, the core of the body starts at the knees, ends at the shoulders. It includes your chest, your abdominals, your obliques, your low back, your glutes, your thighs. So you've got a lot of core work there. Now, if you have a strap handy, I want you to grab the strap. Stand your left foot on the strap. The other big issue for the back, the low back, is tight legs. The posterior chain of the legs, the calf muscle and the hamstring. So we're simply going to hold the strap, extend the leg out and draw the toes back towards the shin. So immediately I do that, I feel a lot of sensation in the calf muscle, the hamstring. Now this can get tiring after a while, so you might have to hold the strap firmly, lifting the leg up to the distance that feels deliciously uncomfortable. So the secret to stretching the back of the legs is where you put your foot. What position is my foot in? And that foot needs to be in what's called dorsiflexion. You need to be flexing it back towards the shin, toes towards the shin, and drive out through that right heel. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and then slowly lower it down. Take a moment to feel the contrast between the left and right leg. So remember this, when you release the back, you've got to release the back of the legs as well. Very, very important. Release the glutes. Let's change sides. So right foot. I like to wrap the strap around my hands. It shortens the strap, but it means when I lift my leg up, my hands don't have to hold on, the strap holds on. So start with the elevation, drive out through the heel, curl the toes back, spread the toes out, feel that posterior chain stretching out. Push out through that right heel. Lift the corners of the mouth. There you go, that's it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and slowly release. Ooh, okay. Put the strap to one side. Drop the left hand down beside you. Drop both hands down beside you, palms face forward. Drop the left ear towards the left shoulder and start to feel the neck bending to the side. And then, like you're the leaning tower of Pisa, start to collapse to the left. Now, at any time this gets too intense, you can grab hold of the leg of the chair with your left hand. So we're coming into lateral flexion of the spine. But remember, we're trying to release the low back. So we want to get deeper into that region between the rib cage and the hips. To do that, lift the right hand up. So you're stretching up as if you're trying to reach up to heaven. You're trying to pull up and you feel that release of unclogging the pelvis from that rib cage on the right side. And then you can start to bring that hand over the head. Try to keep the shoulder back so you don't collapse the head forward. If your eyes were open, they'd be looking straight ahead, not down. Good. The further you come over, the more you'll feel a stretch, the more you'll feel like you're going to fall off the chair. Please don't fall off the chair. For 3, 2, inhale, come up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Whew. Exhale, release. Let's do a little twist to the right here. Inhale, neutral, twist to the left. All right, we're going to come to the other side. So the right ear comes towards that right shoulder. So we get the traction in the neck first, in the cervical spine. You feel that left shoulder drop down so you get a nice stretch in the neck. And then here we go, sinking tower of pizza, sink, 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 sink to that right side. Ooh. Now remember, you can grab hold of the chair leg to support you, because when we lift the arm in a moment, we add a lot more force to the spine, which is going to strengthen those muscles that stabilize the spine, which we also want to do. As you lift left hand up, reach up, feel a stretch in the ribs, and then keeping that elbow behind the head, bring it over the head, and keeping the head looking straight out. So this is a tremendous amount of effort on the muscles to hold you stable as you tilt to one side. And this is often where the back will go out, or when we pick up a heavy suitcase, for instance. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Take a twist to the left. Inhale, neutral. Take a twist to the right. Open the right foot out to the right. Grab hold of the chair for a moment, and I want you to keep both sit bones on the chair, and then straighten the left leg. Just straighten it so your left foot is flat on the floor. So you start to feel this. Bring your left shoulder back so you can see I just rotated towards the camera. So my torso rotated towards the camera. Now I'm going to try and take that left leg back. My ultimate goal would be to line up the left leg, left foot with the right heel. Now I can't do that sitting on a chair because my pelvis is out. But look what would happen if I did it standing. I could line it up off the chair into Warrior 2, but at the moment, because I'm seated, that left leg doesn't quite come behind the right leg. Now it's very important you listen to your hips right now. Listen to your hips. Start rotating the trunk of the body forwards and backwards so you just feel muscles in the hips release. Take a moment to inspect your right knee, your front knee, and your right foot. Make sure the knee and the toes line up. So we're all going to be in different places. We're not comparing to each other. So if your leg is out here, more at an angle, and that feels right for your hips, then that's where you need to be. Your hips are 1,000,000 times more intelligent than me. So listen to your own intelligence here. But I want you to be able to strengthen that back leg. Make it as strong as you can, as if you're trying to push the pinky toe side of the foot into the ground. So you're getting a very big stretch here. Bring the left shoulder back and float that left hand out behind you, parallel to the ground, and turn the head towards the front shoulder. Float the right hand up, keep that left hand stable into your Warrior 2. Nice. Breathe. Now balance the book on top of your head. So make sure the head's not doing anything that would compromise the book. All right. Vera's leading the way there, showing us how to do it with a real object. Exhale, release the hands. Now we've had the hips open for a long time, so you want to hold the chair. Take some weight into your hands as you gently release the legs. Woo! Hello, hips. So you can see before I come deep into the low back, I want to release the hips as well. So take some time for recovery. The left leg is going to rotate out. Straighten the right leg. And then start to rotate it back behind you to the point that your hips feel good on this side. Now that right leg needs to be strong and straight. And if you take a little peek at your right foot, Ideally, it's going to be slightly pigeon-toed, just a little bit. Toes come in, heel points out. That's going to protect the knee and the ankle. And let's try the old torso now. So the right shoulder kind of comes forward and back. Feel your hips as you do that. Make sure you don't go further than delicious discomfort. And then take a final peek at that left knee, left foot. Make sure that they haven't collapsed. Look behind you, float that right hand, right arm out parallel to the ground. Good. Now start to turn the head. Put the book on top of your head. Hold the book, then lift that left arm out. So you want to feel warrior two, that you're not leaning forward, which is kind of how it's often depicted on pharmaceutical commercials, right? You want to feel a balance in warrior two between what's behind you and what's in front of you. So it's as if you're keeping your boundary behind you and in front of you even. The 3, 2. Now as we come out slowly. Grab hold of the chair and then gently release. The thing you need to remember when we do work on the chair, the chances are you're doing a much bigger stretch than you would if you were standing. Because you've got the load off the hips, you're allowing your hips to open a little bit more. So that's going to mean you might feel a little more intensity than you normally would. All right, we're almost ready for the deep forward bend. Let's take the hands behind us and grab the chair. Balance the sit bones, sit right on the edge of the chair. The further forward you are, the more you're going to feel this back bend, the shoulder blades gently squeezing together. The closer you bring your hands together, the more you'll feel the back bend. So if your hands are able to walk closer together, one way to do that is to have a strap. If you bring a strap behind you, you can actually walk the hands closer and closer together with the strap behind you. Some of you might even be able to clasp their hands behind you, so long as the back of the chair doesn't get in the way. If you're clasping the fingers, start to push the heel palms together so you really get a deep stretch across the chest and the shoulders. As you start to look up towards the ceiling, you're feeling your back bend even more. If you lift the hands up a little higher, you'll feel it a little more. Now, unlike a twist, the back bend is going to make you warm. It's going to bring a lot of sensation. It's going to excite the nervous system. Make sure you continue to breathe through all that intensity for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Woo! So I don't know how hot it is there in San Diego, but boy, it's suddenly got warm here in Massachusetts. All right. So now we're ready for a deep back bend. So we've we've gotten the whole body ready just to go into a deep forward bend. Let's stir the spine once again. Notice how the back is feeling. And I'm going to recommend you have blocks or a block for this forward bend. Stir the other way. Grab your block, bring it between your feet, and open the feet relatively widely with the toes pointed outwards, like a sumo squat. Charlie Chaplin feet. Now, the contraindications for this is if you've had any eye surgery or you've had a concussion, anything where the doctor has told you not to bring the head below the heart, you're going to do it slightly differently. So I'll describe the two methods as we go. The first for both of us is going to be the same. Lean the elbows against the thighs just above the knees with the eyes up. Now, if you've had the surgery, you want to keep your eyes up the whole time. You do not want to drop the chin towards the chest, which is the method I'm going to recommend to those who have no contraindications. So if you have no contraindications, you can drop the chin towards the chest and relax the weight of the body into your elbows. So you're literally leaning your torso into your elbows. If your head is neutral, you can do the same. Relax the elbows so you feel the full weight of your body. The next level, most of you know this, is we're going to bring the hands down to the block, whatever level you want the block. Now, once again, with the head, this might be as far as you bring it down for now. Your eyes are in neutral, as if you're trying to balance the book sideways on your head. Otherwise, drop the chin to the chest so you feel the weight of your head starting to pull your neck. So the traction in the neck begins. Ensure that the belly is between the thighs. There's no pressure of the thighs against the belly, so the knees are wide. Free up the belly here. So listening to your own body now, can you bring the hands flat onto the floor, arms straight, and then relax the head once again. Let the weight of the head gently pull the spine down towards the ground. This is also a big hip opener, if you haven't noticed. Now start to soften the elbows and feel the weight sink down more. And then straighten the arms. So just pulse. Relax the elbows. Straighten the elbows. Start to feel this in the low back. Deep low back stretch now. Let the head dangle. And then straighten. For some of you, you might want to just stay dangling. Relax the elbows more. Crown of the head comes towards the block. There's more sensation in the low back and the hips. So everybody's finding their own path right now. You're finding what level of forward bend, big stretch in the low back, works for you. As much as you can, keep the head relaxed. You should be able to Sway the head from side to side without any effort, or up and down. Free up the head and the neck. Now, only for those who feel comfortable, reach back and grab the legs of the chair and start to bend your elbows as much as you can, trying to bring the head to the block. If your head is on the block, you can bring your head to the ground. Make sure you can breathe here. Make sure the head is relaxed. Make sure you're at the appropriate level for your back and for your head. For 3, 2. Now keep the head down as you bring the hands back to the floor. Straighten the arms, keep the head down. Bring the hands to the block, keep the head down. Keep the head down, bring the elbows to the thighs. Keep the head down and walk your hands back along the thighs. If you have a rest on the back of the chair, bring your shoulder blades back into the back of the chair, head still down. Reach the hands behind the neck and clasp the hands behind the head for support. Lift the shoulder blades away from the chair and then push the head back into your hands. Open the elbows up. Keep pressing hands against head, head against hands. Keep the elbows nice and open. Squeeze the shoulder blades, counteracting that deep forward bend. We went deep into the low back just now, very deep. Exhale, release. Grab hold of the knees, bring the feet closer together, and stir the spine. Stir the spine. Good. And reverse. Now, if you have a pillow or a cushion or a bolster, grab hold of that and bring it onto your thigh. And press the cushion right up into your hip crease and let your belly rest on the cushion for a moment. And just dangle your arms and head like a lioness dangling over the branch of a tree. If that's too intense on the belly, just adjust, take the pressure off. Slowly come up, extend the legs out, cross the right ankle over the left, slide that right foot up over your knee if you can. If you can't get it over the knee, you can use a strap to hold the foot, and then you're going to bend the knee. So your foot might be below the knee, but hold it with a strap. If it's above the knee, you just come into your figure 4. And then rest your cushions over that leg. Lift the rib cage, and then lean forward into television watching pose. Curl the toes back towards the shin, and you feel the weight of your body starting to create sensation in that right outer hip, the piriformis area. Perhaps it's the area where you might experience. My mind just went blank. You know what I mean, that little outer thigh sensation. It'll come to me. Now you can lean forward more. You can come back into lioness pose and dangle. Sciatic, that's it. That's sciatic area of the hip. And then bring the elbows back. Come up. We're going to change legs. So release the right, extend the legs, left ankle over, slide it up. If you can bend the right knee and hold the figure four, terrific. If you need the strap, use the strap. Surprise, surprise, one hip's different from the other. Whew. Sit up nice and tall before television watching pose. Curl the toes of the left foot back. You can dangle for a little more sensation. And then slowly come up. So the other thing about the low back is if there is ways for you to support the low back by taking the pressure of the legs away from the low back, you're going to get a lot of relief. So we're going to come into ecstatic back pose, unless you cannot lie on the ground. If you cannot lie on the ground, you take your bolster behind you, you bring your blocks underneath you, and you sit your feet on the blocks, and you lean back into your chair so that the spine is supported by your cushions, and you want the head as much as possible to either be supported with a backrest, a headrest, or you want to be balancing the book once again. You don't want the head to be dangled forward or leaning backward. You want that neck to be supported. Also, if you don't want the head below the hips, so if you've had eye surgery or have headaches, you want to stay in this position here, where you're supported, where the spine is supported. Now for ecstatic back pose, you're going to come off your chair. I'm going to demonstrate sideways, so I won't be facing you. So you want to bring your chair to the top of your mat closest to the camera, and you want to flip it so the seat faces the back of the mat, and you might want a blanket. Now you can come down onto the floor and have your rib cage close to the chair, and you want to sit so that your hips are slightly out from the chair. You don't want to have your hips in front of the chair. So as you roll back, watch what I do. I roll back and I lift my legs up onto the chair, feet parallel, feet hip width distance apart, and then I'm going to support the head. Now you want the head in neutral head tilt. So make sure the neck feels very supported. So you don't want the blanket too thickly under the head, but you don't want your chin sticking up. Take the hands and flop them out beside you, 45 degrees, palms facing the sky. Let your legs sink into the chair. Take all the tension out of the legs so they are completely supported by your chair. Let that relaxation move down through the thighs into the buttocks and the belly. Feel your low back supported. Let that relaxation and ease move up through the spine into your shoulder blades. Adjust your shoulder blades so they feel supported on the mat. Make sure the back of the neck is long, but not flexed. Relax the jaw, unhinge the jaw. If it's possible, let your tongue become still. Let your tongue relax, as if the tongue is doing the same pose. Bring your attention into your eyes. Now, allow your eyes to become softer. Just like they become softer when you take that last exhale before you fall asleep. Let the eyes be so soft that they become still. Almost like the eyes are melting. Gently scan through your body with your mind's eye, feeling for any tension. Allow that part of the body to become softer. Each time you exhale, gently say to yourself, I relax even more. I relax even more. Take a moment to reflect on today's practice where we've focused on the low back. Feel the low back right now. And if there's any way to make it more comfortable, Find that way. Now, if you're seated on the chair, stay where you are. If you're lying down, bring the knees back towards the chest and rock from side to side. Create a little massage in the kidneys. Keep the knees to the chest and roll all the way over to one side of the body. Curl up into a little ball and nurse your head with that arm that's underneath you, like your arm is a cushion. Now, after all this work and nurturing for the low back, to come to a seated position, let's do it scientifically. Let's do it using the mechanics of the body where there's no pressure on the low back whatsoever. So take that top hand and bring it down onto the floor right next to your chest. Drop your right shoulder forward as if you're going to roll onto the front of your body. So you're rolling forward here, not backwards. Extend the right leg out as far as you can to help counteract your weight. Push into the right hand or the top hand and then push yourself up slowly. And then simply hold that rotation for a moment and then come to a seated position either on or off the chair. So I'm going to demonstrate that once again. I know some of you know this very well, but I want to show you what we just did. When you curl up into a little ball like that, to come up, rather than roll onto your back and create tension on the back, you want to take that top hand and bring it right down in front of the chest, extend the top leg and roll forward so that that hand can lift you up and the extended leg can help pivot you up without any strain on the back. And then you come to a seated position. And just take a moment to notice how your low back is. Close the eyes for a moment. Perhaps visualizing a delicious sweet in front of you and doing a twist one way and then the other and feeling the letting go of that desire to eat your sweets. You bring your hands together in prayer position. Let the head bow in gratitude. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Namaste. If you'd like to unmute yourself, you can.
Thank you so much. I'm going to go and eat this piece of cheesecake now.